Welcome to the Farm Life channel. Today, we'll embark on a nostalgic journey through the world of agriculture, exploring 10 classic tractors that buys for new enthusiasts. These tractors are easy to live with, simple to buy, and interesting to own. Leave your like already, subscribe to the channel, and let's go for the video. We start with the Massey Ferguson 390. The 300 series tractors, introduced in 1986, were designed to be simple with a basic and robust specification for a world market. Most for British customers were fitted with cabs, and in the early 1990s, a more modern version arrived with successive updates following during the decade. Built in Coventry as a replacement for the successful 200 series, the 300 series range included small and larger models available with specifications including shuttle-type transmissions, making them ideal for loader work. Low profile and standard height cabs were offered, although both straddle the transmission hump. A flat floor wasn't available. The MF390 was one of the best-selling models, extremely versatile and very capable. It was powered by a bulletproof 4-cylinder Perkins engine coupled to solid and reliable transmissions. The Highline cab is the most comfortable, but the low-profile version isn't too bad, and noise levels are acceptable. The simplicity and ruggedness of the 390 makes it perfect for the first-time tractor buyer who wants a machine of this size, and it's by no means a heavy tractor either. The model can take a lot of abuse, and parts are still readily available to fix any issues. The biggest problem is finding one at an affordable price. A great many have been exported during the past 20 years. Now we are going to introduce you to the Massey Ferguson 35. As with the Ferguson TE-20, the Massey Ferguson 35 also represents an extremely attractive option for the first-time buyer. It's relatively small, compact, and uncomplicated, so easy to maintain. It was developed from the American version of the TE-20, the TO-20, and entered production in 1956 as the Ferguson FE-35 in gray and gold paint, before being renamed the Massey Ferguson 35 at the end of 1956-1957, with new red and gray livery. The original Standard Motor Company 4-cylinder diesel engine was replaced by a 3-cylinder Perkins unit in 1959. Then, in 1962, a more powerful Deluxe 35X version arrived. All three are good tractors, but the later Perkins-powered models are the best. The big problem with the standard diesel engine is its cold starting performance, although, once running, it's a reasonably reliable power unit. The hydraulic system, being based on the Ferguson design, is unrivaled, not only for ease of use, but performance too. A multi-power gear splitter, which doubled the number of gears, was an additional option. The 35 was a very popular machine that went on to evolve into the MF135 in 1964. Although that model is a good deal more expensive today, the MF35 is a very sensible, reliable, and usable option. Continuing our journey, it is now time to introduce the International Harvester B275. During the 1950s, International Harvester in Britain was keen to produce a tractor to rival the offerings from Ferguson, and in 1956, it launched the B250. This evolved into the slightly more powerful B275 in 1958, and both models were produced side by side at the company's Bradford factory. The B275 built on the B250's excellent reputation and sold well, although it never seemed as well equipped as the competition. But this shouldn't detract from the excellent reliability of its 4-cylinder engine and superb transmission. The result was a sturdy, small tractor that sold incredibly well. The B275's good points certainly outweigh any negatives. It's a perfect, small, lightweight tractor that's convenient to store, reliable, simple to operate, and straightforward to maintain. The model's popularity can be gauged by the number seen at rallies, where they sometimes even rival the Ferguson TE-20. It's a popular model for competition plowing too. Yes, despite all the advantages, the B275 isn't an expensive machine to buy, and prices simply don't reflect what a nice tractor this truly is. An excellent choice for the first-timer. The Ford Series 10 tractors were introduced in 1981 is Ford 5610 Force 2, with the 5610 replacing the 5600 that had arrived in 1980-1975. In 1985, the Force 2 incarnation appeared, although the 5610 remained the smallest four-cylinder tractor in the Ford range, with a power output of 72 horsepower. Originally, it was only offered with the cheaper LP and AP cabs produced by Sakura. But the desirable option of the luxurious Super Q cab soon appeared. Some 5610 were fitted with the standard 8-speed transmission, but those fitted with the dual-power 16-speed option are a better choice. The model tended to lead a hard and mucky working life, so finding intact, original examples can be difficult these days. Also note that Sakura cabs often seem more prone to rusting than the Deluxe Super Q version. This model can make a very good first tractor for someone looking for a classic 1980s machine. As with other Ford tractors, though, beware of porous engine block issues which still persisted despite the switch to a new ribbed engine block. Then, it's safe to say that you can't go far wrong with a Ferguson TE-20 as a first-time tractor buy. The little gray Fergie remains in plentiful supply, is reasonably affordable, and is both small and light enough to be an easy machine to use, maintain, and store. Originally introduced in 1946 and built in Coventry, the model was initially powered by a four-cylinder petrol engine. Then vaporizing oil and lamp oil burning variants followed, and, in 1951, the diesel-powered TE-20 model arrived. Powered by a four-cylinder Standard Motor Company engine, the TE-20 represents the best model for a beginner. The Ferguson system three-point linkage and hydraulic draft control was the famous means by which these little tractors managed to accomplish so many big tasks around the farm, and the setup is simple enough for anyone to get to grips with. The tractor's design, with liftable, hinged, single-piece bonnet to ease servicing work, make the TE-20 an ideal first tractor. The model's simplicity was its big selling point, and that a massive advantage today. Most problems encountered when buying can be easily rectified given the good availability of spare parts and the straightforward mechanics. What's more, the tractor is light enough to be easily transportable to shows and events. Now it's the turn of the Ford Force 4000. Force version of the Ford 4000 has got to be right up there as a first-timer's top choice. It was the second incarnation of the 4000 and replaced the original in 1968. It featured several useful upgrades, making it more powerful. Plus, there was better reliability from its three-cylinder Ford engine sharing, much with the other two three-cylinder models in the range. The 2000 and 3000. The 4000 was a 62-horsepower machine and more capable than its smaller brethren. Its popularity means there are plenty still in existence, and spare parts are relatively easy to source. The only major problem to be aware of relates to the notorious porous engine block issues that all Ford tractor engines from this era suffered from. Watch for signs of water in the oil, or vice versa. Apart from this, though, this model is mechanically simple, and most were fitted with a reliable 8-speed gearbox. The 10-speed Select O-Speed power shift was a less common option, and probably isn't best suited to anyone new to classic tractors. In our list, we present to you the Leyland 272. British Leyland was formed from a merger between British commercial vehicle firms that included BMC, the builders of the Nuffield tractor that had recently moved its home from the Midlands to Bathgate in Scotland during the 1960s. This led to the orange Nuffield tractors being rebranded as the blue Leyland Range in 1969. In 1972, a whole range of new models arrived, from three-cylinder to six-cylinder machines. But one of the most popular was the four-cylinder 272. This two-wheel drive, 72-horsepower machine featured the excellent Leyland 498 engine, perhaps one of the best and most rugged of tractor power units. A 10-speed transmission offered practical versatility, and the original Victor Weather cab was modified in 1976 to become a quiet cab. A big upgrade arrived in 1978 with the advent of the Synchro version, with 9-speed transmission offering market-leading change smoothness. Combining the rugged nature of the engine and driveline with this tractor's simplicity makes the 272 a particularly great choice for first-timers. Although most around these days will have led a hard life, most of the parts needed to bring them back to scratch can be sourced easily. Continuing our journey through the history of iconic tractors. Now it's time to talk about the John Deere 2140. First seen in 1979, the Mannheim-built 40 Series tractors from John Deere followed the larger American-built machines introduced 2 years earlier. The 2140 was the mid-sized offering, and the top-spec version boasted the new SG2 cab with its wraparound glass and high level of comfort. The added benefit of the power synchron 16-speed splitter gearbox made the 2140 easy to operate. With a lively, 4-cylinder, 90-horsepower turbocharged engine, this model is a highly regarded machine that boasts excellent reliability and good reputation overall. Available in either 2- or 4-wheel drive, the 2140 would be a smart choice for a beginner as it's compact, powerful, and sophisticated. Most parts are still available and the driveline is very reliable, assuming proper care and attention. A cheaper OPU cab was often fitted to the 2140, supplied by Sakura, making the model more affordable, but it doesn't offer the same ease of operation or the looks provided by the top-of-the-range SG2. Now, let's talk about the David Brown 885. There are many great David Brown tractors that could be included here, but I'm opting for one that is all too often overlooked. The 885 is a superb 48-horsepower machine that punches well above its weight, both in terms of performance and looks. It's a tractor that came into its own after the takeover of David Brown by Case and sold in large numbers. Fitted with a bomb-proof 3-cylinder engine built in-house by the Huddersfield-based company, the 885 was usually equipped with the firm's own safety cab. A quiet cab version followed, but although practical, narrow doors can make getting in and out a struggle. However, the tractor is very pleasant to drive, offering a high level of sophistication thanks to the Select-O-Matic hydraulic system and rugged transmission. Being a small tractor, the 885 can be transported quite easily, and simple mechanicals ensure it's easy to service and maintain. Good general availability means prices remain more affordable than the corresponding Massey Ferguson and Ford models, yet owners aren't shortchanged in terms of benefits. There aren't many downsides to the 885. All you have to do is find a decent example. Many led very hard-working lives. And now, to conclude our series, we present to you the Fordson Dexta. Many superb tractors were built by Ford under the Fordson name, but perhaps the most beginner-friendly is the attractive little Dexta. Launched in 1957, this small sister to the diesel major proved to be just as rugged as its bigger stablemate, and was the first of a very long and successful line of Ford 3-cylinder tractors. The engine was a joint effort between Ford and Perkins, and the combination produced a very reliable and long-lived power unit. With the new Qualitrol Draft Control 3-point linkage, the Dexta was the ideal machine to compete with what became the Massey Ferguson 35 in the same year. It was built at Ford's huge Dagenham factory, became an instant sales success, and was upgraded in 1960. The larger Super Dexta followed in 1962. The small size and obvious lightness of the Dexta are huge plus points enabling this model to be stored in a domestic garage and transported easily on a small trailer. It's also a mechanically simple machine, is straightforward to work on, and spare parts are still readily available. So, the Fordson Dexta is a highly recommended tractor for the first-time buyer. We thank you for joining us in this series and hope you enjoyed discovering all these incredible models. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and comment which model you would like to see in action. See you next time on Farm Life.